So I just wanted to kind of share a lesson that I felt was pretty important from this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. But yeah, let me just say this much. They went into a concept of how, as people, we let two overarching emotions control our day to day, our psyche, our general life, and the two emotions is fear and greed. And I mean, really, if you want to get super technical, we could go down into how fear is the reason why we do every single thing in our life. Ultimately, fear of violence. Hey guys, my name is Ethan, and I'm on a mission to help you guys learn from my mistakes. Let's get into this video. And it is quite a weird concept if you think about it, because fear is the root of every single thing that a person does. And you might not immediately believe that, but why do you live your life? And it's even if you're not scared of dying, it's because you have this internal uncontrollable fear that you know that one day you won't be here. So if you don't live your life, you've wasted it. So you live it. And the reason why you don't go ahead and beat the brakes off the next person you see is because, well, there'll be consequences. You'll either get your ass handed to you, or if you win, you'll get your ass thrown in jail. So the fear is always controlling you in whatever aspect you do. Even if you bunking school, you're gonna go to school. Why? Because you're scared of what will happen, like the repercussions, like how your parents will react, or perhaps what your life would look like without it. So fear does control a massive amount of your life. And then the side of greed is the interesting one, because I was like, I'm not greedy. I don't feel like I'm a greedy person. I feel very generous. I feel like I try and give as much as I can. I'm not a greedy person. However, everybody does have, and I think it's the human flaw that makes us human, is everybody has greed. I mean, yes, you can go ahead, and when I say everyone, it's like you can go ahead and make a like, oh, the monks in the mountains of Nepal, they don't have materials, and they don't have greed. But sure, like, okay, fine, not everyone, but the majority of people on this planet, you watching this video on your iPhone or computer, you've got a certain level of greed to you. That's why you have the materials you have, and every time you get paid at the end of the month, the greed kicks in and you buy stuff, right? That's why we buy stuff. I mean, it's self-fulfilling, sure. Maybe you were trying to flex on somebody, and even in that regard, that comes down to greed. So greed and fear are the two emotions. Greed and fear are the two emotions that are controlling you. And when it comes down to the business world now, when we're talking about making money, it really controls you, because it's the reason why you would stay in an underpaying job, because you fear what would happen afterwards. I can't pay my bills, I can't do this, I can't do that. And that might be because of poor financial decisions. That might be because you don't have like an emergency fund, or things, just you might not have made the preparations, and that's understandable. You can't just run away from your job. And I don't suggest that. I'm not saying, oh, don't let fear control you, run away from your job. I'm saying realize these emotions, realize it, and actually analyze it, go deeper, find out your why. Find out, why am I scared of leaving my job? Is it because I don't know what business I would start? Is it because I don't know what I would do? Like, why? And then work it back, reverse engineer it. If you didn't have a job, like, what would you do? And then it starts to open up these new avenues. For me personally, I was flat broke in 2019, and I had no direction in life. I wanted to be a rapper, and fast forward now to 2024, I own a jewelry business, and I've been successfully making money online with digital marketing for the last 4 years now. So I'd say I did pretty well for myself, coming from a sound engineering background, like literally nothing to do with what I do on a day-to-day basis in digital marketing. And very recently I've started my jewelry business venture, which I started with my job. Yeah, I know, crazy, right, guys? You can do more with your life than just your 9 to 5. And that's kind of where it kicks into your greed. Your greed is taking away from your future life. And bro, would you physically harm yourself? Yeah, I'm actually asking. And if the answer was no, then why are you consistently destroying your future? Why? Like, just think about it, bro. If you work out today, you don't see it tomorrow. If you take a run today, you don't feel it tomorrow. But the future self, in 10 years, he's gonna feel it. So all the inputs you do now aren't really gonna make this massive change in your life. Like I'm not I'm not trying to say quit your job, do all this crazy stuff. I'm saying like start small, start saving, start figuring out what you want to do, because you'll start to see that all of a sudden the little inputs you do right now are the reason why your future self can prosper. And the worst thing that I see is that so many people tend to push this back because they're like, oh, I'll get to it later. Like, oh, when I'm older, or like, but when you're older, it's gonna be the result of everything you've done now. Everything you've done now is gonna be what happens when you're older. So if you don't start to address your core issues when it comes to your fear and greed and how that actually plays a part in the choices you make in your day-to-day life, the longer it's gonna take for you to actually get somewhere. And it's gonna feel like this constant treadmill, because instead of you starting right now, whatever age you are, you might start 10 years later, where it all of a sudden, like you'll start to feel the length of that 10 years that you've wasted. And you'll feel like life is this unaccomplishable, like just impossible task, right? But it's because you've wasted 10 years of progression. And if you think about anything, imagine taking a 10-year break from working out. Imagine taking a 10-year break from playing your favorite video game. Like, how bad would you be at the game? So the longer you postpone the game of life because you're controlled by your fear and your greed cycles, the longer you're gonna end up postponing that, the end game, right? Like the longer, like, it's like how, how bad would you really be at playing the game of life? And if it comes down to, it might come down to something as simple as just your life quality. Do you really want to live a poor quality of life? Do you feel like you deserve that? Why do you deserve that? Because I know that everybody wants, or everybody likes the idea of being rich. Everybody likes the idea of being powerful. Everybody likes the idea of having it all. But not everybody wants to go fucking get that shit. And I guess that's what I'm trying to make a point of today, is that don't let your fear of what would happen if you're a little bit sleep deprived the next day stop you from building your dreams.